I am honored to be the endorser of the verified impeachment complaint filed by Reverend Father Joel Saballa et al. Against Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte. Let me be clear at the outset. This endorsement is not a declaration of guilt. It is not a politically motivated gesture. It is not a personal act. It is a constitutional duty. The Constitution entrusted this House with this responsibility precisely for moments like this, when serious, detailed, and grave allegations are placed before us. Katulad na lamang ng verified complaint na ito ngayon, ito ay tahasang nagsasaad ng mga sumusunod na mabibigat na sakdal. Una, that the Vice President committed culpable violation of the Constitution and betrayed the public trust by committing plunder and or malversation, graft and corruption, and other high crimes sa umano'y pag-amas at pag-convert ng hindi bababa sa 500 million pesos mula sa confidential funds ng Office of the Vice President para sa 2022 at 2023. Hindi maliit na halaga ang kalahating bilyong piso. Hindi ito simpleng administrative lapse. Ito ay pondo ng taong bayan. Ikalawa, that she committed culpable violation of the Constitution and betrayed the public trust sa umano'y pagkamkam at pag-convert ng hindi bababa sa 112,500,000 mula sa confidential funds ng Department of Education noong 2023 in her concurrent capacity as DepEd Secretary. Ang pondo para sa edukasyon, para sa mga bata, para sa kinabukasan, ay hindi maaaring mabalot ng pagdududa at kakulangan at mga questionableng dokumentasyon. Ikatlo, that she committed culpable violation of the Constitution and betrayed the public trust by corrupting and bribing officials of the Department of Education. If envelopes containing cash were indeed distributed to influence official actions, that is not merely an ethical lapse, it is a direct assault on public trust. Ikaapat, that she committed culpable violation of the Constitution, betrayed the public trust, and committed high crimes in contracting to murder or assassinate the President, the First Lady, and the former Speaker of the House. Kung ang isang halal na pinuno ay hayagang nagsabing siya ay nakipag-usap sa isang assassin para patayin mismong Pangulo ng Republika, hindi ito retorika lamang. Masagwa pa rito. Hindi lamang ang nagplano ng pagpatay ay ordinaryong kawani ng gobyerno, ordinaryong Pilipino, kundi ang pangalawang Pangulo, ang constitutional successor ng mismong pinapapatay niya. Saang panig ng mundo o ibang mga bansa nakakita na merong napakataas na opisyal, yung pangalawang Pangulo, na lantarang nagbanta sa buhay ng pinakamataas na opisyal? Ito ay malinaw na usapin ng pambansang seguridad. Ito ay usapin ng katatagan ng ating pamahalaan. Ito ay usapin ng paggalang sa mismong konstitusyong kanyang sinumpaan. Ikalima, that she committed culpable violation of the Constitution and betrayed the public trust in amassing unexplained wealth and failing to disclose all her properties and interests in her SALNs, alinsunod sa Section 17, Article 11 of the 1987 Constitution. Ang SALN ay hindi dekorasyon. Ito ay mekanismo ng transparency. Kapag may malaking pagtaas ng yaman na hindi maipaliwanag ng sapat, at kapag may mga nakatagong yaman tungkulin ng institusyon na siyasatin ito. Ika-anim, that she by herself and or in concert with others committed culpable violation of the Constitution and betrayed the public trust in committing acts of political destabilization and the high crimes of sedition and insurrection. Ang panunumpa sa konstitusyon ay hindi simboliko. Ito ay panata ng katapatan sa Republika. Kung may mga kilos o pahayag na nag-uudyot ng panghihimasok o paghihimagsik o destabilization laban sa halal na pamahalaan, hindi maaaring ipagwalang bahala yon. To support those grounds, total six specific grounds, complainant Saballa et al. Made a detailed recital of facts, which were mainly matters of public record and knowledge that were clearly constitutive of the enumerated offenses. Consideredly, most of the factual allegations and the annexes in the Saballa et al. Complaint were the same as those contained in the articles of impeachment that were sent to the Senate in February 2025. those articles were endorsed by more than one-third of the membership of the 19th Congress, numbering 215 representatives at that time. Fortunately, many of those endorsers are still members of the current Congress. Therefore, I have to say, it is absurd to downplay now the pieces of evidence contained in Sabally et al. And the other impeachment complaints, precisely because these are exactly the same accusations and evidence that caused the Vice President's impeachment last year. Nothing changed. The grounds, the facts, and the evidence remained valid. This should still be enough to impeach her in this time. In fact, in the case of Duterte versus House of Representatives, GR number 278353, both in the Supreme Court's original decision of July 25, 2025, and the January 28, 2026 resolution on the motion for reconsideration, it was underscored, nasabi na rin po ito ng ating Madam Chair, that the Vice President was not absolved. In the High Tribunal's own words, quote, at the House's discretion, the grounds raised in the articles of impeachment may again be raised based on any evidence that may have been discovered, if any, end of quote. As to the opinion of some people that there are no smoking guns in this and other complaints, I beg to disagree, Madam Chair. The video containing the Vice President's threat to kill the President, the First Lady, and then House Speaker, as well as the media interview where she affirmed it, is a smoking gun. The numerous documents evidencing payments or the debts with fictitious names are smoking guns. Sabally et al.'s complaint is replete with many other documentary evidence which are also smoking guns. And even assuming, without conceding, that the evidence in the articles are not or no longer smoking guns, we have them this time. We will produce them in the form of compelling testimonies and newly discovered material evidence. One more time with feelings, as the lyrics of a song go. I reiterate, this House has impeached Vice President Sara Duterte before. The records are clear. This House already determined at least once that the allegations against her were serious enough to trigger the constitutional process. So I ask, respectfully, but directly, what has changed? Have the allegations disappeared? Have the official reports and audit findings been withdrawn? Have the sworn testimonies before the previous House hearings been recanted? Or is the only material development the public declaration that the Vice President may seek the presidency? Maihalintulad ba ito sa isang supervening event sa law on obligations and contracts? Yung madalas ding tawagin sa batas na fortuitous event na pangyayaring hindi inasahan o kung inasahan man ay hindi naiwasan that had already rendered the performance of an obligation impossible or extremely difficult? Pero sandali lang po. Hindi ordinaryong obligasyon at pansariling interes ang nakataya rito sa impeachment process. Nakasalalay rito ang sinumpaang tungkulin natin sa ating bayan at sa ating saligang batas. Kaya kung wala namang nagbago sa mga facts at sa batas, anong dahilan para magbago ang paninindigan? O mas malala pa, anong rason para tuluyang mawala ang paninindigan? If we found the allegations sufficient before by transmitting the articles of impeachment to the Senate, then consistency and principled conviction demand that we uphold what this House had firmly decided on before. Hindi maaaring mag-iba ang ating pasya kung hindi naman nagbago ang ebidensya. Our oath is to the Constitution, not to political convenience. Our loyalty should be to the Filipino people, not to partisan interests. Public office is a public trust. That principle applies to every public officer without exception, without fear, without favor. For reasons grounded in constitutional fidelity and institutional responsibility, I urge this committee to allow the constitutional process to move forward. Let the evidence be tested. Let accountability be pursued. Let the Constitution prevail. And finally, so we pray that the lane we're treading here be paved with the same moral lines of truth and accountability that our people drew at EDSA 40 years ago. We pray that as we traverse this path now, as representatives of the people, we be mindful of those constitutional boundaries, those limits of integrity, honesty, and decency that the Filipinos have set against power and privilege. For crossing those moral lines, for desecrating those constitutional boundaries, let us impeach Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte. Maraming salamat po.